What's up, everyone? So I'm back again, and today I'm looking at the housing market in Houston. I just read a news article, and it says that the June market second consecutive month that Houston sales decline, and is this a sign that the Houston market is about to drop or have a crash? Well, I'm gonna take a look at it, give my professional opinion. But before I get into that, I'm just some random guy on YouTube. I just pay attention to the Houston market because that's where I buy my houses and that's where I sell my houses. So before you take my opinion, please talk to a real estate agent and get their opinion as they're the professional. All right, let's look at this. So here's the article: June market second consecutive month that Houston area home sales decline, market report says. So according to HAR's June market update, single family homes across Houston declined 11.6% year over year. Listing service recorded. You know what? I actually seen that whenever I try to sell a couple of properties this year. The the these houses are not selling at the top end. They're really selling at the low end. So yeah, I can see year over year. And the average single family price increased 0.8%. And I can see that too. More likely, the houses that sold over market was on the top end of the refurbish of the house or rehab of the house. And the total available property increased 33.8%. And active listing is 47,000. So compared to June, it's 35,000. So there's more houses on the market. What do I think about that? Well, to be honest, let's look at the actual numbers at Houston. So I have it in the max year. So year over year, Houston market. So the whole Houston, the inventory is 9,000. New listing 3,000. Medium sell price is 300,000. And the percent sale over listing is 19.8. I think that's, and median days of pending is 19 days. So to really look at this, you actually have to look at some of the houses in Houston. So let's just pick a random area and just click on them, and let's look at a few of them, see what they have been doing. Yeah, I see that the market has shown that there's a slight drop right here. So let's look at a little cheaper house. This one has a price cut. So yes, I see that there's a drop from 1 month to another month. So they did have a big increase and a drop. So it looks like they've had it listed in this house. I'm not sure if it's because how it looks, but let's look at it real quick. It looks pretty decent for the price point, 199,000, but it's not able to sell for some reason. And that might be because the high interest rate is causing an issue. But if this has been on the market 4 days, so let's see what the market says. There's also a drop. So this could be an early sign of a market drop in Houston, and this could be a correction from the big increase from 2022 from that drop, or it could be a retro reaction from the high interest rate. No one really can afford a house. Even with the high interest rate, it makes it harder. You need a higher income, and some of these areas might not be more. This house looks nice. It's kind of small, but here again, in the last 2 years, the estimate history is a negative 26% in the last 2 years, and I'm randomly clicking on houses in Houston, and it's showing that these houses are, let's pick a different, let's look at this part of Houston now. And let's see if it's just randomly looking on houses and see if there's a market drop. This one doesn't have anything. So this is how I look if this one had a price cut. Why did it have a price cut? Same here. These houses seem like they're staying on the market longer. This had a pending sale, but now it has a price drop of 209. So there could be something wrong with the house. I really doubt it. But let's look at this. This one had a price increase. Okay. But still, Zillow estimate is showing it to have a drop from last month. So let's look at Redfin, see what it says. Even Redfin saying the medium sell price has dropped. So it looks like there is a drop in the market in Houston. And that really could be because the high demand and the high interest rate and low demand. I mean, you really can't do anything. So these is all the places people are migrating to come to Houston. Winning offer. Inside. So if you look at the trends, let's look at the single family homes. January, February, March, April, May, June. So it was an increase, but now there's a drop. Does this mean a market crash? No. I think with the high, we can also go on Redfin and look at the estimate and see what the market says it's supposed to be worth and see the drop. See if there's year over year. See if it's good or bad. If housing market's going down or up. And I really think it's due to the property interest rate is high. But the interest rates are dropping right now. So it's a good news. I think with the interest rate dropping, the housing market is going to recover. See the property history. So they bought it for $160K. They're trying to sell it for $242K. I don't think this one shows the trend. Here's the trend. So this is in their area. Yeah, there is a drop, but I think this is due to the interest rate, not really anything else. We can let's look at this house and see how affordable. And let's go down here. So Redfin estimate, Accurate Online Home estimate, under list price by $290. So before COVID or during COVID time, the $290, almost all the houses were selling on the top end. So it looks like this house been listed and it's been on the market for a little bit because they just dropped the prices. So it does look like people are having issues with selling their properties, and it's just taking effect. Let's see if they did have a pending in October, sold in 2022, and they had it listed for a few days and then they dropped the price. So it looks like they weren't getting any interest because they dropped the price. And not surprised this house was sold at 285. Redfin estimated. So this one sold for 285 on January 2020, and Redfin estimated for 316. So it looks like people aren't getting the top end of the market, and they're getting the bottom end. So it does look like there's less people competing. That's good for people who are trying to be a first-time home buyer. Let's see. And people are trying to be a first-time home buyer, and it's good for everyone. If there's less investors, and meaning more people will be willing to buy houses if they can afford it, because less investors are going into the market. Now, me looking at the numbers and looking at a few of these houses, I've been looking at that Spring Houses area, and all the numbers are saying that there's a decrease in the market value. But with the interest rate dropping some, do I think that interest rate dropped enough for people to go back into the market? No, I don't think the interest rate dropped enough. I think if it dropped another, 1% interest, people are starting to go back in, try to buy more houses in the market. But inventory has increased in Houston. So that means there's less demand and more supply. So people can't be trying to sell their houses on the top end of the market. And the trends are showing, backdated data. So if you're looking at the trend, you see that there is a drop from May to June. And that's concerning for investors, but for a home buyer, that's good because you might be able to get in the market and get the house cheaper or on the bottom end of the market. Does that say not to buy a house in Houston? No, I think the Houston market is pretty stable. It does go up year over year. The homes sold did drop by 22%. And the median days on the market is 32 days. So year over year, that has increased by 10 days. So houses are on the market longer, and the home sold has decreased by 22% year over year. So there's less houses being sold, and the houses are being on the market longer, meaning now the buyers have more houses to choose from. And if you want to sell something on the upper end or for full price, you have to have it either fully renovated or on the upper end of the update. So they don't want to pay for renovation. So before, during the COVID time, people were buying all the houses on the market, and even if the house wasn't renovated, they're buying it at the top end because everyone was moving and they're needing houses. So I think this is just a correction, and it's not a market crash. It's a market correction, and reality is houses increased it a lot in the last 2-3 years, and it's a good time for people to buy houses to try to get into a house. Whenever the interest rate is going down and the supply of houses going up, that means there's more supply with less of the demand from the people. So yeah, the houses market is gonna drop a little bit, but eventually people are gonna be able to afford these houses again in the 200 to 300 range with a okay salary. So is this a housing market crash? No, I think it's just a drop. I think there's more supply on the houses. People are now finally giving up their houses that they had low interest rate, because the rental market in Houston has dropped too. So people are trying to rent their houses out for $2,500, $2,700, but reality they can only rent it out for $2,000, $2,200, or $2,200, and it's barely covering mortgage. So people are selling their houses now, even though the interest rate is dropping, even though the mortgage or the rental market is dropping a little bit, doesn't mean the Houston market is crashing. No, I think it's a correction. So is it crash? No, it's a correction. Just pay attention to it. This month it's hasn't been too good, but hey, the last 2-3 months there's been more supply for houses, and that helps anyone who's trying to buy a house. That gives them more opportunity, and that means investors are not coming into the market, so there's less investors. So I think that's a good thing. Less investor and more first-time home buyers will help with the stabilization of the Houston area anyways. So please like and subscribe, and that's all I got for y'all. I don't think Houston market is crashing. I think it is just doing a correction because year over year it only dropped 2.1%, and that's not that bad. Not after the high increase from COVID.